Hello Primary 4. I thought I would just give you a wee reminder of how to do a multiplication calculation with the number talks, and just go over a few things and maybe show you the example and then leave you to do this one, or maybe even give you the answer to this one. So first of all, remember when we were doing multiplication, we could also use different words. So we could say 67 multiplied by 6, or we could say this one is 67 groups of 6. Or we could do it as a switcher, because remember multiplication is commutative, so we can actually switch it around and do it the other way. Because remember in class we proved that, we made arrays to show that, say for example, if we had 3 rows of 4 or 4 rows of 3, we got to the same answer. So we proved that multiplication was commutative. So we could do group solve, we could say this is group solve, we could say that it's times, we could say that it's multiplied, we could say and do different ways to calculate it. So let's have a look at a couple of ways here. So we won't do 67 multiplied by 6, we'll do a similar 2-digit one just to go over it together. So let us do maybe 58 times 6 as well, do multiply by 6 as well. So first way I would maybe go over is to use the base 10 as if we had base 10 in class. Now, although we don't have it here, we could draw it out as if we do have it. So if we were showing you 58 times 6 or 58 multiplied by 6, I would definitely do 58 times 6, because I don't think I would want to do, no, let me think, I would want to do 6 groups of 58 and not 58 groups of 6, because I think it would be easier to do 6 groups of 58. So I would draw out my 58, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Remember a line like that is the base 10, that's 10, and a dot is the unit. So I've got a 50 and I'm doing an 8. I'm going to lay out this way so I've got enough space. So there's 158. Now I need to do 6 of these. Now all the time you need to check that you're doing the right amount, because remember, if you draw out the wrong amount, that means your calculations are wrong before you even start. So I'm going to draw it out, and then after I've drawn it out, I'm going to check that I've actually written the right amount. So I've got 4 groups of 58, and you can see the way I'm setting out here, I'm setting out almost as if it's the tens and the units, because remember we've done a lot of work in class about which column things are in, which is why it's called place value, remember. So I'm setting my tens out in one column and my units out in the other column, because that's really how a calculation would be set out, and that's the place values I say. So I want to just double check that these are actually 6 groups of 58. So I've got 6 groups, so I'll check that first, and then I want to check I've got 58 in each group before I do anything else. Yep, it looks as if I have, and you can see the way I've set it out makes it easier to check that. Now all I've got left to do now is I'm going to change colour, and then I just need to add this up. So I'm going to add my tens first. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130, 140, 150, 160, 170, 180, 190, 200, 210, 220, 230, 240, 250, 260, 270, 280, 290, 300. So there, I've got 300 here. Now some of you might have known, without even adding them up like that, you'd have known that 6 groups of 50 were 300. That's fine if you knew that. And same here, some of you, now I'm going to add my units up now. So now some of you will know what 6 groups of 8 are, or 6 groups of 8 we've got here. You would know what that is. I'm just going to show you how I would count it. And I'm actually going to change colour again to make it easier, and I'm going to count all my units to make sure, I'm going to score them off to make sure I don't miss any out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48. Now, I don't know if you noticed when I was counting these up in my groups of 8, because I know the stations of my 8 times table, I was actually checking when I was adding them up, every time I got to added up one of the groups. Should change colour again to show you. Every time I added up one of the groups, when I got to like here and then here, then here, I made sure that actually in my head I was actually in the stations of the 8 times table. So I did actually add, I knew it was 8, 16, 24, 32, 40 and 48. So there we go, I've added them up. I've got 300 with my tens, I've got a 48 with my units. I can now see that the total, when I add these together, is 348. So that's one method to do that. Let's keep the 58 times 6 to show another method. I don't know quite what's happened there, why I've moved that down. Let's actually take that back and see. There we go, that's a wee bit better. Is it going to do the same again? No, that's better there. So another way you could do it is with a number line. So you could draw a blank number line. I know this is not going to be very straight. And you could start at 0. And we're going to have 6 groups of 58. Now, I've shown you this before. I know if I was adding up 58 and then 58, I might get quite confused with that. So I'm actually going to kind of do a similar thing to above. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to actually add up my 50s first and then my 8s, because I just think that's actually easier to do. So I'm going to restart it because I just rubbed half of it out there. So I'm going to draw my number line. And I'm going to do, so it's 6 58s. So I'm actually going to start at nothing and I'm going to do 150, 2 50s, 3 50s, 4 50s, 5 50s and 6 50s. Now, because adding 50 is quite easy, because 150 would be there, 2 50s 100, 3 50s 150, 4 50s 200, 5 50s 250, 6 50s 300. And then I've actually got just my units to add up. I could actually add up 6 groups of 8s, and 8 and 8 and 8 and 8. I actually know, because from above I actually know 6 8s is a 48. I'm going to cheat actually. I'm just going to do my 6 8s and add them up in one job, just because I've not got enough space here. But if you really, probably not a good thing to do that, because if I'd made a mistake in this one, I might just make the same mistake here. It might have been better to add the 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6. So there you go, there's 2 ways to do that. So a third way, let's think a third way to do again. Oh, these are all very similar, but a third way to do it, if I was doing 58 times 6 again, what I would actually do is partition that into 50 and 8, and I would times the 50 by 6 times the 8 by 6, and I would add them together. So 50 times 6 is 300, because if 5 6s are 30, 50 6s are 300, 8 6s are 48. I would add these two together and I would get 348. So there's 3 strategies to do a 2-digit times a 1-digit in, and we could actually do just a formal written method like this, and I could say 6 8s are 48. Always, when you're doing a formal written method, you always start with your units and you times them first. So you've got 6 times 8 is 48. Only your units can stay. Remember, this is your units column. Only my units can stay in this column. So my 4 tens have to be carried down here. Remember, it doesn't matter. You can carry them up here if you would rather. As I've told you in class, I always like to carry down below here. But it doesn't make any difference. So I've got my 4 tens, my 8 units. My tens is my tens column waiting for me to use. 6 times 5 tens, 6 times 5 is 30, so that's 30 tens. Add on my 4 tens here, it's 34 tens. So 34 tens actually, I've got my 4 tens in here, my 30 tens actually goes on into my hundreds column, so I've got 348. Now you don't make the mistake that some people do. Some people leave it like that because they think they carry down, but you can't. If you've got no calculation left, you can't. There's no point carrying your 300s down here. You have to put your 300s back up onto the line. So let's get this back up. Your 300s would go over there. So that's the way I would do a 2-digit times a 1-digit. There are many other ways you could do. You could actually, here we go, I'm going to rub this one out and show you another strategy. Another strategy you could use, you could actually say, well, 60 times 6 would be really easy, because if 6 6s are 36, 60 times 6 would be 360, but that 60 times 6 is 2 6s too many, so I would have to take away a 6 and a 6, because I've times 2 6s too many, so I would have to take away 12. Now 360, take away 12, I would take away 10 first to 350, and then another 2 to 348. So there's a way that you could do that as well, just a different strategy. Right, so I'm going to rub all these out, and I want you to pause the video. In fact, no, I was going to say pause the video and do that one, but I wonder, while I'm rubbing it, I'm going to decide. I'm worried if I give you the answer and show you how to ask you to pause the video, some of you will just look at my answer. No, I think I'll do it. Right. No point, boys and girls, no point just waiting for me to show you the answer, because if you just let me show you the answer, you're not learning anything. So be sure and pause the video now. I'm just doing this to save you having to send it in to me. So pause the video and do 67 times 6 first. And I'm just going to pick a couple of strategies to show you the answer. I'm not going to do all the strategies again, but I'm just going to do a couple of strategies to see. Right, okay, pause the video now. Okay, 67 times 6. I'm actually going to do it the partition way. 67 times 6 would be a 60 and a 7. I would do both of them times 6. 60 times 6. Well, I know what 6 times 6 is. 6 sixes are 36. So 6 tens times 6, or 60 times 6, is 360. 6 times 7 is 42. I would add both of these together, and I think the answer should be 402. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another strategy to see if that is right. And the other strategy I think I'm going to do is a formal written method. So I'm going to do 67 times 6. 6 sevens are 42. Units in my units column, carry my 4 tens down. 6 sixes are 36, add on 4 is 40, so I get 402 again for that. I could do this strategy here where I could do 70 times 6. 70 times 6, well, 6 nothings are nothing, no units at all. 7 tens times 6 is 42 tens, 6 times 7 is 42 tens. Now, so I've done 70 times 6, so that's 3 sixes too many, so 3 sixes are 18, so I would have to take away 18 and I would get to the answer 402. So I've tried 3 strategies, I get the same answer every time. I reckon that's right. So the answer to 67 times 6 is 402. Now let's rub these out. And let's go to a 3-digit number. Now, the 3-digit number you do exactly the same way. There's nothing different at all. The only thing you need to know when you're doing a 3-digit number, if you're using base 10, you would have to do your squares, your flats as the hundreds, but you would set it out exactly the same way. If I was doing 340, I'm going to rub this one out because we've done it now, 348 times 6, sorry, I would set it out with your 300, if you were using base 10, your 40, and your 8. Exact same we did before, and I would do 6 groups of that. So if I would do that, you could do a formal written method, you could do a number line, you could do any other strategy you could think of. I would probably, if I was picking 2 strategies to do that, I would probably pick the partitioning and a formal written method. If I was doing these, partitioning is always a good strategy, I would say. I probably wouldn't do the base 10 because it would get too easy to make a mistake. You're drawing too many things, but it still works. It's still a good strategy. And I probably wouldn't do a number line, though again, it would work. In fact, I'll maybe show you how I would do a number line, but it probably wouldn't be one I would particularly choose myself. Right, so pause the video, have a go yourself, and then I'll go over some of the answers. Pause the video now and have a go. Right, let's have a wee look together. Let's see some of these strategies. Goodness me, I don't know if I really want to do this one. It's just not one I would choose. I think when you get to the bigger numbers, base 10 gets less and less appealing to me, I have to say, unless I actually have the base 10 in front of me. If I have the base 10 in front of me, the actual blue concrete materials, I'm more tempted to use it. But when it comes to drawing all the wee pictures, I have to say, I don't know. The only thing I would say about it is it does kind of make it clear what you're doing. If you can set out base 10 for for any number, it does show you know exactly what you're doing. Now I have to watch here because look, I've got wee purple dots that I didn't rub out last time, and that just shows you because you could easily make a mistake with them. Now I've rushed drawing that, so I'm actually going to check that I've actually got, remember you always have to double check you've got every line right, because if you've got any numbers wrong, you are going to make a mistake. So I'm just quickly double checking. I've got 348 for everyone. Yeah, it looks as if I have. So I'm going to pick another colour, and then I'm going to start adding up. So let's go to my hundreds. I'm going to start my hundreds first. 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, 1000, 1100, 1200, 1300, 1400, 1500, 1600, 1700, 1800. Always write them down because you'll forget. So remember 1800, make sure you give them the right column is my thousands column, my hundreds column, my tens has got nothing, my units has got nothing. Right, go to my tens, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130, 140, 150, 60, 170, 180, 190, 200, 210, 20, 30, 40, 240. Right? And then my last one is my units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 9, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48. So I've got 48 units. So now I've got to add up 1800, 240 and 48. Well, right away I know 1800 plus 200. That gets me to 2000. And then I've got my 40 and my 48 still to add. So I've got 2000 plus 40 plus 48. And I know that is 2000, no hundreds, and 88. Now, the more number talks you do, the better you get at all these in your head. That's really why you do number talks, boys and girls, is because if you understand what you're doing and you can partition numbers out and think about it in your head, that means that you know you'll be able to do things in your head afterwards. Right, so that's that one. We could do a formal written method. Let's see if we get the same answer. So, start with my units. Remember your calculation. 6 8s are 48. 8 units carry my tens down. 6 4s are 24. Add on my 4 tens is 28 tens. 28 tens of 2 goes down into my hundreds. 3 times 6 are 6 times 3 is 18. Add on 2 of 18 hundreds. Add on 2 hundreds is 20 hundreds. I just write it up here. I get 2088. So both of my answers are the same. I could do, let me think, another strategy I could do. I could do partitioning, which is always a good strategy, which is 340 and 8. So we've got each one of these times 6. We've got 300 times 6. Now I know that 3 6s are 18, so 300 times 6 is 1800 or 1800. 4 times 6 is 24, so 4 tens times 6 is 24 tens or 240. 8 times 6 is 48. And I've just got to add these up in my head. You notice it's exactly the same calculations I had before when I set out the base 10, because it's really the same calculation you're doing. 1800 plus 200 is 2000. Add on 40 is 2040. Add on 48 is 2088. Now, if you find that difficult to do in your head, what you would do is you would set it out like this in a addition calculation, making sure everything's under the right column, and you would actually just do, remember to carry, just do an addition calculation. So I've done it 3 ways. I've run out of space. I've done it 3 ways. I've done drawing the place value. I've done a formal written method. And I've done the base 10, not the base 10, the partitioning, and I've got the same answer, so I reckon that is the right answer. Interestingly, I would have liked to win in class through this, because I wonder, somebody like Blair, Blair's always a really good one for doing different ways of calculating, but I really quite like the way Blair's mind works with maths. And I actually wonder if Blair would have done this. Wait until I show you. I wonder if Blair would have done this kind of calculation, 350 times 6. I wonder then he would have said, well, 6 300s would be 1800, 6 50s would be 300, so that would have been 2100. And then he would have to think, he actually, well, hold on a wee second, I've actually multiplied too many 6s, I've multiplied 2 6s too many, and I would have to take away the 12, and he would get to 2080 like that. I just wonder if that's what he'd have done. I'd have been interested to see if you've done, but if he stopped the video, actually, you could maybe tell me if that's what he did do. So that's our strat. That's the number talks, boys and girls, and that's the answers. I hope it all made sense to you, and I hope you tried it without just looking at my answers.